Do you ever get that feeling when you go home? I'm not talking about the home where you live now. I'm talking about the place where you grew up. The place that helped mold you into the person you are today. The place where you bonded with friends and family. The place you couldn't wait to move out of as you got older. But yet, here you are, all grown up, independent, and every time you go back, you get that feeling. Yeah, that one. The one that digs deep. The one that brings back all those memories at once. The ones that makes you question why you ever left. The one that makes you wish you could go back and relive it all over again. This home is different for everyone, and maybe for some, it's even more than one place. For me, one of these homes is the family farm.
Hey guys, welcome to the farm. You like my pitchfork? So today, we're just gonna take a tour of the farm. I'm gonna tell you some of the memories that I have here from growing up. And of course, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about how insurance plays a role in keeping this farm running efficiently. So it's cold out here. We're gonna jump into the barn and start here and take a look at the barn first, okay? Let's go. So in here we have about 10 stalls. There's a hay loft, tack room, storage space for some equipment, the typical barn things. The barn is often at the heart of every farm. Can you really call it a farm without there being a barn? I've had so many great memories out here, just helping out and learning things. When I was in high school, I had some friends that worked here on weekends, and I really enjoyed coming out here and helping them and just working together. There is something satisfying about just coming out here with your list of chores. All you have to worry about for the day is getting those jobs done, crossing those off the list, and at the end of the day, you really felt accomplished. You really felt like you had done a lot of work, and you felt like you were helping the animals here on the farm and maintaining the property. Even if my friends and I were just shoveling shit, we always managed to have fun doing it, and we still talk about those memories that we had here on the farm till this day. So this makes the barn insured item number 1 here on the farm. There's so much importance in having the barn. The farm really couldn't operate properly without having it here to house the animals, the equipment, the feed, etc. So having insurance on your barn is absolutely essential in case something happens. So right now we're going to talk about one of my favorite parts of the farm, and that is the equipment. Whenever you knew there was work to be done around here, you knew there was going to be a fight to figure out who was going to be the one that got to drive the equipment, especially with a tractor, okay? The tractor is the sickest piece of machinery around. You knew you'd made it on the farm if you were able to drive the tractor. This didn't come easy for some people. Sometimes they had to put in their time, they had to wait their turn, they had to wait till they were old enough to learn how to drive. But if you could drive the tractor on the farm, you were up here. You made it. Like, you are the boss. The tractor is the best machinery around here, literally for one reason, okay? Literally one reason. And it's pretty simple. That's because if you could drive the tractor, you were the one that got to take a break from shoveling shit while you took the bucket load of shit down the back lane while the other person stayed in the barn to keep shoveling shit. It's as simple as that. It really is. If you could drive the tractor, you're shoveling less shit. The Kubota RTV is really another fun tool to have around the farm. This thing is really the workhorse around here. There's so many little jobs that you can just jump in this thing and it can go and help you do. It's also really fun to drive. Probably more fun to drive than the tractor, but it's just different. I'd be lying if I said we never had drifting competitions on the ice in the winter with the RTV. I would also be lying if I said I didn't crash into a fence and break one of the fenders one year while drifting the RTV on the ice. That being said, you can't have expensive equipment like this around the farm without it being insured. The equipment saves farmers so much time, and it helps make sure the farm is able to run as efficiently as possible. A fun fact for you about farm equipment, actually my grandpa when I was growing up had a tractor that randomly caught fire And so, it just goes to show that you never know what's going to happen, and having insurance on this stuff is so important. What's up, guys? We're back in the barn and we're talking about the horses. My family has a pretty long history with horses, so I think I'll always have a soft spot for them. I think when I lived here at the farm and around the horses, I kind of took them for granted, and I never really appreciated them as much as honestly as I probably should have. And to be honest, it wasn't until most recently where I really just started feeling that I have a strong appreciation for them, and have been finding them really awesome animals to be around. And I think now that, every time I come home, I really look forward to just kind of interacting with the horses and just appreciated them for really what they are, and they're pretty awesome animals. Growing up, my family had a lot of different kinds of horses, from race horses to show horses, whether that's standardbreds, thoroughbreds, hackney ponies, draft horses such as the heavy horses, Clydesdales. The heavy horses for us around here have been more of a hobby, and we tend to take them to shows, weddings, parades, that kind of thing. I think one of my favorite experiences growing up here on the farm with the horses is the sleigh rides that we do in the winter time. And what we used to do is hook up GT snow racers to the back of the sleigh, with a leech hank or a long chain or something, just some rope, whatever we could find. And we would sit there and just get dragged by the sleigh, and half the fun was trying to knock off your buddy who was beside you on his snow racer or toboggan or whatever it was. And then, if you fell off, you had to run back through the deep snow and catch up to the sleigh. And a lot of times you get stuck and you get soaking wet or whatever, but definitely one of the best memories I have growing up here with the horses. The thing about the horses is they really do become like family. A horse by the name of Rocky, who's no longer with us, rest in peace, Rocky. I grew up showing him, many other people grew up showing him, my younger brother grew up showing him. Anyone who came to the farm and got to know him really just liked him for who he was. He had a great personality, he was very gentle, and he was just an all-around great horse. So I hope Rocky's up there in horse heaven, finding all the best grass, apples, and oats he can find, living his best life. So summing up my point about horses is there's many times where they are insured, and this can be for many different reasons. For many people, their horses are their source of income in one way or another. And if something happens to them, they're certainly not cheap to replace, especially if they have an emotional attachment that comes along with them, if it's that horse that's really been a part of your family for so long. That's why having insurance on your horses is an essential part of life on the farm. Okay, so we've now taken a break from doing our chores to interview our first guest on the channel, Mr. Glen Smith, who happens to be a lifelong farmer, insurance broker, and happens to be my stepdad. So thank you, Glen, for taking some time out of your busy day to answer a few questions. How long have you been a farmer?
Well, I've been bred and raised on a farm, family farm. Our family, my grandfather and my great-grandfather were all farmers, and I'm 64 years being on a farm. It's a way of life.
How has your experience as a farmer helped you throughout the insurance business?
Well, it's a good question. I would say it's helped me out 150% or 200%. Because I can talk to other farmers. I understand farming, I understand equipment, livestock, and what a farmer really needs. I have clients from Windsor to Ottawa to Sault Ste. Marie, and farmers, and big equine and beef farms, and some dairy farms, and a lot of cash croppers. But I can relate to all of them in their business and what they need, and we can talk about it.
What are some of the losses that we've had around this farm over the last few years that you can think of?
Well, you probably all remember when you were real youngsters, when we had that windstorm tornado came through, and I came home with my brand new truck. I think it was only 3 weeks old. Had it parked in the driveway between the house and barn. There's a big old maple tree. Well, 30 seconds later, the maple tree was laying right across the whole truck. So thank God I had insurance on there. Plus, the corner of the barn was lift up, and the corner and the wind blew the corner of it, and tin came off. So I had about $30,000 worth of claims there to repatch the barn, and I was one of the lucky ones compared to other people that day in the area.
As an insurance broker and as a farmer, what does it mean to you to have your farm insured? What's
what's the importance of it?
Well, the main importance is to make sure you got it insured properly. You have a barn fire. I know that wiped my father out in 1962, his dairy farm. Combustion in the mow, it was hay, and we lost our 2 barns and all our cattle, and there was loss of income coming in for my dad for quite a few months until he got up and going again. So there's a lot of different things that you gotta make sure you're covered for. Liability is a very important thing that you gotta protect yourself now with pollution liability attached to it.
A lot of people think of the tangible items, but they don't think of the intangible things, right? Like
that's correct.
Like the liability, yeah. So my last question is, and I had already mentioned one of my favorite memories on the farm. What would be one of your favorite memories you have around here without getting too emotional?
True, I will. But I still remember you driving the Kubota, going down there on ice and taking out a couple fence posts. And I just shook my head. Boys will be boys, having fun. But you know what? No one got hurt, and those are memories of skating. Those hooking the horses, going for sleigh rides. I remember you guys. We used to hook them on Saturday mornings, and we load up the sleigh with hay and straw, and go out to the fields and shake the straw up in the run-in sheds and feed the animals. It was fun.
Okay, so we will make sure we put a link in the description below so that anyone who is looking for farm insurance can go to Merit's website and give you a call.
Very much appreciate that. I'm always there to help other people and direct the people in the right way.
Okay, moving on, we're going to quickly touch on a few other things around the farm that have insurance on them. The carriage shed, insured. The run-in shed, insured. Horse trailer, insured. Farm truck, insured. Cows, I think they're insured. I bet you had no idea the last time you were on a farm that there's insurance in so many places on a farm. Now you know. So as I've shared here today, the life that I lived growing up has been made possible by this amazing piece of property. I honestly believe that the farm would not be able to function without insurance in place on so many of the things that I showed you here today. So thank you, insurance, for protecting the farm and helping it to run smoothly, as well as providing my family and I with the lifestyle that we know and love today.
If you want to, I'll get you flowers waiting around the bend. Baby, let's just pretend. I wanna stay like this forever. I wanna stay right here with you. I wanna stay right here with you. As the rest we fall until it all...
Hey guys, if you like this video, make sure to hit subscribe, get notifications, and hit the like button. It also helped me out a lot because this video took a long time to make. But if you like it, the algorithm likes it. And that means more people will get to see Eve here. Good girl. I think we can all agree that more people should see this horse. Okay, we'll see you in the next one.